In my presentation today, we will be discussing hedonic and utilitarian motivations that affect impulse buying and Generation Y. My name is David Escobar, and this is my presentation over background and purposes. The background is that Generation Y is one of the largest generational cohorts in the United States. They are growing in numbers, and they tend to shop more online. So the purpose of this study is to identify the hedonic and utilitarian motivations that cause impulse buying in Generation Y. Some of the methodologies that I used was a survey that I developed that measured impulse buying behaviors of Generation Y, and with what hedonic and utilitarian motivations cause this impulse buying. The survey consisted of Likert scale, nominal scale, and open-ended questions, and was disseminated through Facebook primarily for 1 week, and got 30 respondents. Of the 30 respondents, I was only able to use 9 of the studies. The next section I will be going over is the analysis and results section. I'll try to get through this as harmless as possible, and go over the data as quickly as possible. I started off with the 2 Likert scale questions. The first one being what best describes the way you look at shopping in store. They were given a list of certain terms that would describe them, and they had to decide whether they strongly agreed with the statement or strongly disagreed with the statement, which is the range. A median was determined using an Excel spreadsheet IRQ formula. A median of 1 and a IRQ of 2 indicated that respondents strongly disagreed to buying clothes spontaneously when browsing online shop. This is how they would describe themselves. A mean of 0 with an IRQ or IQR of 2.5. The participants strongly disagreed or somewhat disagreed that just do it described them. A median of 1 and IRQ of 1.5, that they strongly disagreed or somewhat disagreed that they buy clothes according to how they feel at the moment. Respondents, that's what they came up with a median of 1 and an IQR of 2. Consumers surveyed strongly disagreed that shopping for clothes online is for enjoyment, with a median of 1 and an IQR of 0.5, showing that participants strongly disagreed that they carefully plan most of their purchases of clothing when asked, their purchase of clothing. When asked if the buying now, thinking about it later describes them, the respondents somewhat disagreed with a median of 0 and a IQR of 2.5. The respondents with a median of 2 and an IRQ of 2, or IQR of 2, the respondents said, I see it, I buy it describes them. They strongly disagreed with that as well. With a median of 1 and an IQR of 0.5, consumer respondents surveyed strongly disagreed that I only buy clothes online without thinking about it carefully, or without thinking carefully describes them. Participants strongly disagreed that sometimes they are a bit out of control when they buy, with a median of 1 and an IQR of, of 1 as well. I posted these results on Appendix A in Chart 1A in the shopping and store section of the chart, or the chart listings. Okay, the next Likert scale question was a 5-point Likert scale question with strongly, really strongly, and very strongly agree, or very strongly, or is how they felt about the question. When they asked if low cost influences impulse buying, they felt strongly with a statement giving it a median of 2 and an IQR of 2. A median of 2 and an IQR of 0 indicated that participants somewhat disagreed that during online shopping they buy apparel products without a lot of thinking. With a median of 3 and an IQR of 2.25, they showed that respondents somewhat disagreed that they tend to buy things they have no desire to buy when online shopping. With a median of 5 and a IQR of 3, presented that females consumers surveyed somewhat agreed that they tend to think about their purchases after purchasing online. When asked if they find something that they like online, they purchase it. Immediately, participants somewhat disagreed with that statement, resulting in a median of 3 and an IQR of 3. The results of this was also posted on Appendix A, Chart 2A, under impulse buying. A couple of the nominal questions that I went through, I went ahead and listed them as well, and they concluded that with the question of whether the respondents were male or female, 36.36% of the respondents were male, and 63.64% were female. The median age of the participants were 29 to 31, or that were 29 to 31 years old. Were I think the 29 to 31 years old were of the respondents, they were 16.67% that were identified under the 23-year-old range, and 3.33% fall under the 23 and 25 range. 3.33% identified under the 26 to 28 range. 23.33% were 29 to 31 years of age. 13.33% were the 32 and 34 years of age. This is all demographic questions. If you'd like to know more, you can also look at the chart under Chart A, under the Appendix A. I'm just going to highlight over the major questions. And I went over the discretionary funds. 3.33% said they have 0 to $100 of discretionary income. 11.11% have 500 to 700. 22.22% reported 700 to 1,000, and 33.33% have more than $1,000 in discretionary funds. That's on Chart A4, and discretionary income in Appendix A. Another one question I'm going to go over is what they were purchasing with their money or with their discretionary funds. 10.53% purchased beauty and spa products, 5.26% selected books and compact discs, and 18.42% purchased clothing and jewelry, 13.16% purchased dining experience of some sort, 5.26% selected used their funds on fees and admissions, usually into like concerts or something like that. 13.16% purchased televisions, radios, and computers. 2.62% preferred to travel. 10.53% wanted to use their money on home decor. 18.42% purchased groceries, and 2.63% responded with other type of purchases. As you can see, 18.42% of the purchases that was used on groceries is a hedonic type number or use. All the rest of my findings I posted on my research paper, so you can look that over, so that I don't go through the whole thing and just burn up 15 minutes on results. And the final section that I'm going to do is the findings and conclusions. The findings have revealed that Generation Y consumers tend to impulse buy items more in store than online. So the results of that were pretty drastic. It was about 100% of the part of the Generation Y that I surveyed that all picked in store. Although there was a variety of hedonic and utilitarian motivations that were affecting the impulse buying, it was not the primary aspect that was being used or that was actually affecting the impulse buying. From the surveys, it was determined that the largest aspect that was affecting the impulse buying was lower prices. Anytime a customer or someone shopping in store saw a low price, they would actually purchase it because of the low price. Of the items that were being purchased, most of them were low-priced hedonic type items. So that's what kind of had the larger impact on the purchasing behaviors of Generation Y. The results were pretty similar to those of, it's hard to say his name, but McGonaghan and Bacot in their 2013 abstract or their findings. They found that the results of their surveys they made more purchases, like their respondents made more impulse purchases based on their income and the credit that was made available to them. So this implies that the cost is a factor which influences the respondents to purchase. Other studies showed impulse buying is on the rise altogether, but only a few showed that the impulse buying for hedonic items was what they were purchasing. So with those findings, low cost was the top influencer that caused respondents in the Generation Y generation to impulse buy. This concludes my presentation. Please look over the references section to get all the references that I used. If you have any questions, you can send me an email or ask me any of these questions online or through the submission page on our Blackboard.